So hi everyone, now we are going to deal with the part 3. It is the classification of drug that is said to be the prostaglandins. Regarding the introduction portion, these are the group of closely related arachidonic acid derivatives. They generally have 20 carbon containing fatty acids with a cyclopentane ring. They are potent uterine stimulants used mainly in the last stage of pregnancy. They increases the tone and amplitude of the uterine contractions at low concentrations, but at high concentrations they causes the relaxation of the uterine muscles. Dinoprostone and prostaglandin E2 alpha are potent oxytocins. They augment the process of softening and dilation of the cervix, and hence they, along with the synthetic analogues, are employed at the time of delivery and before inducing abortion for cervical ripening. So the term cervical ripening refers to the softening of the cervix that typically begins prior to the onset of the labor contractions and is necessary for the cervical dilations and the passage of the fetus. So the mechanism of action. So they exhibit their actions by binding to the G protein coupled receptors, which in turn linked to various G proteins, namely GI, GS, GQ. So regarding the GPCR, we are familiar with this topic. It has been already studied or discussed. So let's just summarize this in this topic. That is, the prostaglandins, which act via the GS receptors, lead to the activation of the enzyme adenylyl cyclase, which increases the level of the CAMP in the liver. This CAMP activates various protein kinases which regulate the functioning of various cellular proteins. Receptor linked to the GI result in the inhibition of the adenylyl cyclase, which ultimately decreases the intracellular level of the CAMP. On the other hand, prostaglandins, which mediate their effect via GQ receptors, result in the activation of the phospholipase C, a membrane-bound enzyme which produces two secondary messengers, inositol 1,4,5 triphosphate, that is IP3, and diacylglycerol. It is said to be the DAG. So the pharmacological actions on the CVS. PGE2 causes the vasodilation. PGE2 is constantly produced in the fetus. They function to prevent the closure of the ductus arteriosus. So regarding the ductus arteriosus, it refers to the ductus arteriosus generally refers to the ductus botalli, is a blood vessel in the developing fetus connecting the trunk of the pulmonary artery to the proximal descending aorta. It is said to be the ductus arteriosus and thus help to maintain its patency. So PGE2 also helps to maintain the blood flow to the placenta. The next is said to be the endocrine system. Prostaglandins stimulate the secretions of the anterior pituitary hormones such as the adrenocorticotropic hormones ACTH, growth hormones GH, gonadotrophins, and prolactin. Next is about they stimulate the production of the steroids, insulin releases, and exhibit effects resembling those of TSH on the thyroid gland. About the kidney, PGE2 have various effects on kidney. They include increased secretion of the sodium, potassium, and water, vasodilation of the renal vasculature, inhibition of the antidiuretic hormones, reabsorption of the chloride ions, stimulations of the renin release, potentiate direct effect on the loop diuretics. PGE2, along with exogenous PGF2 alpha are pyrogenic in nature. Pyrogenic means inducing fever. They are said to be pyrogenic in nature. The antipyretic drugs and aspirin inhibit their synthesis and restore the normal body temperature. Smooth muscles, that is the bronchial smooth muscles. PGE2 relaxes the smooth muscle. PGF2 alpha contracts them. PGE2 inhibit the release of the histamine from its storage sites. About the GIT, PGE2 exert cytoprotective actions on the gastric as well as duodenal mucosa by reducing the secretion. That is, they exert their cytoprotective actions on the gastric as well as duodenal mucosa by reducing their secretions, increasing the blood flow to the gastric mucosa and enhancing the gastric mucus secretions. PGE2 and PGF2 alpha contracts the longitudinal smooth muscles of the intestine, and PGE2 relaxes the intestinal circular smooth muscles. About the reproductive system, PGE2 as well as PGF2 alpha stimulate the contractions of the uterine smooth muscles in both pregnant and non-pregnant females. In pregnant women, the fetus during the term produces sufficient amount of the prostaglandins which help to initiate and maintain the labor pains. Small amount of the PGs administered to a pregnant woman nearing her term help to soften the cervix and make it more expandable during labor. Excessive endometrial productions of the PGE2 as well as PGF2 alpha during the menstrual cycle leads to spasmodic or primary dysmenorrhea. So, in males, PGE stimulates the penile erection and sperm motility from vagina to uterus. So, the term dysmenorrhea, that is primary dysmenorrhea, is associated with that of the cramps as well as pelvic pain with menstruation, with common causes such as the heavy flow, passing clots, uterine fibroids, or endometriosis. So, the therapeutic uses, they are used to terminate pregnancy in the second trimester. Gemaprost is the drug of choice for this purpose. Misoprostol and carboprost can also be used. Dinoprostone is used in the induction and augmentation of the labor as an alternative to oxytocin in the toxemic and renal failure, as they do not cause any fluid retention. Dinoprostone is used extra-amniotically for cervical priming. So the term cervical priming refers to the dilating or softening of the cervix by mechanical or medical means. They are used for managing postpartum hemorrhages. Postpartum hemorrhages refer to the excessive bleeding after childbirth. Carboprost is effectively used when patients are unresponsive to ergometrin and oxytocin treatment. So the adverse effect: nausea, emesis, diarrhea, fever, bronchoconstriction, hypotension, fainting, vertigo, flushing, hypercalciuria, formation of the renal calculi. Thank you all.